Did you know that sharks are actually older than trees? Not just older than the trees in your backyard, but older than the very concept of a tree existing on Earth. Sharks have been patrolling our oceans for over 400 million years, while the first tree didn't sprout until about 350 million years ago. Imagine a world full of apex predators, but not a single leaf. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're diving into facts that sound like complete lies, but are 100% true. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Stay tuned, because the final fact on this list will literally change how you perceive time itself. Let's talk about the greatest mass murder in the history of our planet. It wasn't caused by a meteor, a volcano, or a war. It was caused by oxygen. About 2.4 billion years ago, something called the Great Oxidation Event occurred. Before this, Earth's atmosphere had almost no oxygen. Then, cyanobacteria began producing oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. To the anaerobic life forms that ruled the Earth back then, oxygen was a lethal poison. This oxygen catastrophe wiped out nearly all life on Earth, paving the way for us to exist. We literally breathe the waste product of an ancient biological apocalypse. Have you ever wondered if food can truly last forever? Archaeologists exploring ancient Egyptian tombs have found pots of honey that are over 3,000 years old, and they are still perfectly edible. Because of its unique chemical makeup, honey is naturally acidic and low in moisture, making it an inhospitable environment for bacteria. You could literally take a spoon, dip it into a jar from the era of King Tut, and have a snack without getting sick. It is the only food source that truly never spoils, a golden liquid that defies the laws of biological decay. Speaking of things that feel magical, have you ever noticed that specific, earthy smell right after it rains? It's called petrichor. But what you're actually smelling isn't the water itself. It's a molecule called geosmin, produced by soil-dwelling bacteria. Human beings are incredibly sensitive to this scent. In fact, we can detect geosmin at concentrations as low as 5 parts per trillion. To put that into perspective, we are better at smelling wet dirt than a shark is at smelling blood in the water. Evolutionarily, this likely helped our ancestors find water sources in vast landscapes. Now, let's descend into the abyss. We think we know our planet, but 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. The Titanic sits about 12,500 feet below the surface. At that depth, the pressure is equivalent to having an elephant stand on your thumb. But even deeper than that is the Challenger Deep, nearly 36,000 feet down. If you dropped Mount Everest into the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be over a mile underwater. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own ocean floor. There are creatures down there with biological mechanisms we haven't even dreamed of yet. While we're talking about the deep Earth, let's talk about wealth. There is enough gold in the Earth's core to cover the entire surface of the planet in a coat 1.5 feet thick. During the Earth's formation, molten iron and precious metals sank to the center to form the core. The problem? It's 1,800 miles beneath our feet, where temperatures are as hot as the surface of the sun. We are literally walking on a golden treasure chest that we can never, ever open. It's a reminder that true abundance is often just out of reach. In the vastness of the ocean, there is a creature known as the 52 Hz whale. This individual whale calls at a frequency of 52 Hz, which is much higher than any other whale species. Because of this, no other whales can hear it or respond to it. It has been wandering the ocean for decades, calling out into the void and receiving no answer. It is often called the loneliest creature on Earth. It reminds us that even in a world of 8 billion people, communication and connection are the most valuable currencies we have. If you're finding this knowledge valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We release deep dives like this every week to help you understand the hidden mechanics of our world and stay ahead of the curve. Let's get personal. You share about 50% of your DNA with a banana. While we look nothing like a yellow fruit, at a cellular level, we share many of the same fundamental processes, like how we replicate DNA and process energy. Furthermore, if you took all the DNA in your body and stretched it out in a single line, it would reach from Earth to Pluto and back, 6 times. You are a biological masterpiece of data compression, carrying a map of the universe inside every single cell. Think about your circulatory system. If you took all the blood vessels out of an average adult and laid them end to end, they would stretch for over 60,000 miles. That is enough to circle the entire Earth more than twice. Your heart pumps this massive network every single day, working harder than any engine ever built. This incredible complexity is happening inside you right now, completely on autopilot, while you sit here watching this video. Did you know that outer space has a smell? Astronauts returning from spacewalks have consistently reported a distinct odor clinging to their suits. They describe it as a mix of seared steak, hot metal, and welding fumes. This is likely caused by polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, molecules that are released during the death of stars. So, the universe doesn't just look spectacular, it smells like a cosmic barbecue. It's a gritty, industrial reality that contradicts the clean, silent void we see in movies. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. NASA estimates there are between 100 billion to 400 billion stars in our galaxy, but a study published in the journal Nature estimates there are about 3.04 trillion trees on Earth. We often look to the stars for something vast and incomprehensible, but we are currently living on a biological powerhouse that is statistically more crowded with life than the galaxy is with suns. History is weirder than fiction. In 1932, the Australian military declared war on emus. Yes, the large, flightless birds. The Great Emu War involved soldiers armed with Lewis machine guns attempting to cull a population of 20,000 emus that were destroying crops. The emus, however, proved to be masters of guerrilla warfare, splitting into small groups and outrunning the soldiers. After weeks of wasted ammunition, the military actually lost. The emus remained, and the government had to retreat in embarrassment. It's a humbling reminder that nature usually wins. While you sleep, your brain is actually more active than when you are awake. During REM sleep, your brain is processing emotions, clearing out toxins, and consolidating memories. There is a specific system called the glymphatic system that acts like a dishwasher for your brain, pumping cerebral fluid through your tissues to wash away molecular waste. If you don't sleep, these toxins build up, which is why sleep deprivation feels like literal brain fog. Your mind is a city that only does its best maintenance work after the sun goes down. Time is a social construct, especially on other planets. On Venus, a day is longer than a year. Venus has an incredibly slow axial rotation, taking 243 Earth days to complete one full spin. However, it only takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun. This means by the time you've celebrated one day on Venus, you've already had your birthday. This perspective shift shows us how much our understanding of time is tied strictly to our specific position in the solar system. Let's talk about something truly gross. In Sardinia, there is a traditional cheese called Casumarzu, which literally translates to rotten cheese. It is purposefully infested with live cheese fly larvae. The maggots break down the fats in the cheese, making it incredibly soft and liquid. People eat it while the maggots are still alive and jumping, sometimes jumping up to 6 inches high. It is considered a delicacy, but it's also technically illegal due to health regulations. It's a testament to the strange and sometimes terrifying lengths humans will go to for a unique culinary experience. Death isn't as still as you think. Did you know that dead bodies can get goosebumps? When a person dies, the muscles in the body eventually contract as part of rigor mortis. This includes the tiny muscles at the base of hair follicles, known as erector pili muscles. When they contract, the hair stands up, creating the illusion of goosebumps on a corpse. It's a chilling biological reflex that persists even after the spark of life has vanished. There is a book that no one on Earth can read. It's called the Voynich Manuscript. Dating back to the 15th century, it is filled with strange illustrations of plants that don't exist, astronomical charts, and a completely unknown language. The world's best codebreakers, including those from World War II, have tried to decipher it and failed. Some think it's a sophisticated hoax, while others believe it's a lost branch of science or even an extraterrestrial diary. It remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. Finally, let's talk about your place in time. If the entire history of the universe, 13.8 billion years, was squeezed into a single calendar year, humans wouldn't show up until December 31st at 11:59 p.m. Everything we've ever known, the Roman Empire, the Industrial Revolution, your first crush, happened in the final seconds of the cosmic year. We are a tiny, fleeting blip in an unimaginable expanse of time. But in that tiny blip, we've learned to weigh the stars and map our own DNA. If you enjoyed this journey through the impossible truths of our world, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep the curiosity alive. Until next time, keep questioning everything.